Swat ni Tukun! For today, we will show you the amazing cultures and traditions here in Thailand. Let's begin our journey. The culture in Thailand is a mix of strong Indian influences, Chinese traditions, and elements that are uniquely Thai. With its diverse geography, friendly people, and stunning sceneries, Thai culture is warm and welcoming, but also conservative. While people are keen to save face and avoid confrontations, there are a number of ordinary Western habits that can be liable to cause offense. Thai culture is also seen as a system of social control in which people shape their standards and behavior. The importance of culture lies in the fact that it is a link between people and their value systems. External characteristics which those values play an important role in our whole life.
Part of the Thai culture is the language. Their official language is Thai, which is taught at schools and spoken throughout the country. While the Thai language is the official language of Thailand, one could say English is its unofficial second language. As tourists and business visitors from around the world have traveled to Thailand, English naturally has become the common linguistic currency even while many of those visitors learned how to speak Thai. As visitors to Thailand also include many Europeans and other Asians, Thai people's language skills often also include these other languages to varying degrees. The Thai language itself is challenging to master, but Thai people are happy to have foreigners learn a few words to help them get around. However, English is typically the common currency for cross-cultural conversation as Thailand hosts visitors from around the world. The Thai language features 5 tones: high, mid, low, rising, and falling, each of which changes the meaning of particular words. Reading Thai is based on an alphabet adopted from the Khmers of Cambodia and is said to have become standardized during the reign of King Rakhamhaeng during the Sukhothai period. The Thai alphabet consists of 44 consonants, 18 vowels, and 8 diphthong tonal notation. Learning to read Thai can be more complicated than learning to speak it, as the pronunciation of written words does not follow a straightforward progression of letters, and written Thai does not place spaces in between words. Fortunately, road signs are written in both Thai and English, and many tourist areas provide maps, menus, and other literature in both Thai and various other foreign languages. One problem that does occur for foreigners trying to pronounce Thai words correctly is caused by the transliteration of Thai words into Romanized characters. An obvious example would be the island of Phuket, pronounced Phuket rather than Phuket as it would be pronounced in English. Furthermore, there is no official standard for the transliteration of words, and thus many Thai words are spelled differently on different maps or street signs. In addition, while most Thais speak and understand the Central Thai dialect, there are various regional dialects, including those of Southern Thailand and North or Eastern Thailand, the latter of which is essentially just the Lao language. In northern Thailand, which had been the independent kingdoms of Lan Na and Chiang Mai from 1259 to 1939, a distinctive form of Thai is still spoken by the local inhabitants, all of whom can also speak Central Thai. All variants of Thai use the same alphabet.
Thailand is often referred to as the land of smile because in Thailand, a smile is more than just a smile. It is a form of subtle interpersonal messaging. Once you have more of an understanding of the meanings behind the smiles, you will be able to read social situations easier and have a better understanding of Thai culture. Away is a form of communication and the customary greeting in Thailand. The palms of the hands are momentarily pressed together in a prayer-like gesture with fingers pointing upwards, usually close to the chest and the head slightly bowed. There are different degrees of wise depending on the person you're talking to. When you put your thumbs on your chin, this type of Y normally used for your friends. When you put your thumbs on your nose, this type of Y normally used for someone older than you. And when you put your thumbs on your head, this one is used for the highest level of respect like Buddha, monk, or the king. Pointing at someone is considered rude in the culture of Thailand. If you will indicate a person, it is more polite to point with your entire hand rather than a single finger. Stepping on currency is a criminal offense in Thailand. The currency notes and coins contain an image of the king, and stepping on it would offend his dignity, as Thais believe feet to be the dirtiest body parts. In Thailand, the head is considered sacred and the cleanest part of the body, so it is deemed offensive to touch people's head or hair. If you slip up and do this accidentally, apologize as soon as you can and you'll find most Thais will quickly forgive you for it.
Verbal ways of communication in Thailand. Swearing. Swearing is generally not used in Thai casual conversation and it is considered to be crass. Soft voice. Thai people are often soft-spoken. Raising one's voice is generally frowned upon as it implies a loss of control in situation and can cause a person to lose pace. However, people from Bangkok tend to speak louder and faster. Indirect communication. As the concept of pace underpins interaction, Thai people tend to have an indirect communication style and avoid giving flat-out refusal. In keeping interaction amendable, Thai people will often smile or nod. Humor. It is common for Thai people to joke during conversation. While humor is used in the typical way to make conversation lighthearted, it is also used to cover emotion of sadness when discussing a tragic or difficult situation. Honorifics. Thai people typically address someone by stating the first name preceded by kun. However, if the people conversing are close friends or familiar with each other, they will omit kun. Familiar honorifics Phai is for older sibling and Nong for younger sibling, are generally appropriate for people who are close to each another.
Stereotype and prejudice to Thailand. For example, Thailand is associated to Bangkok, Pattaya, and some island down south, which is not true. Another example of stereotype is that all Thai is considered Buddhist, and some prejudice think that most tourists will get scammed in Thailand. This is just some example of stereotype and prejudice in Thailand because of ignorant and self-centered culture of his or her country.
We all know that Thailand has a lot of cultural relativism. One of the famous cultural relativism in Thailand is tattoos. A monk is being tattooed in Thailand near a Buddhist temple. Tattoos are believed to bestow the monks with ancient Khmer prayers and the spiritually protective power of animal images. To many Americans, tattoos can be a sign of rebellion instead of divine protection.
Good day. Today I want to tell you things about how cultural Thailand makes something that is so different and shows off the Asian culture where religions and beliefs come first and foremost. As searching via Google and typing keywords, clues and relevant words, one can deeply understand and observe the differences that we have from the Thai culture. One of those things are, we are mostly a religious country which follows Roman Catholic teachings where there lies the history, lessons, and teachings of the Supreme Deity's Son and gave himself for us to be forgiven. While on the other hand, the Thailand follows the Theravada Buddhism, where they strive to live in freedom with samsara cycle and believes that monks could only achieve nirvana as a result and cessation of suffering. Here are my research details that I will give an attention for distinction of differences of each country. In Thailand, nicknames are easy, one syllable is enough. In the Philippines, it is common to call nicknames but related to original names. In Thailand, they offer wai aside from handshake, and in the Philippines, shake hands are alright and appropriate, or hand waves. To Thailand, they respect or give respect, awai, and distinction recognition to monks and king. To Philippines, they are using pagmamano to elderlies.